today I'll be doing a book review on To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. So this review will be non-spoilers, so anybody who has not read the book will be perfectly safe to watch it. And also, another quick thing, this is my first review, so I'm sorry in advance if it's sort of all over the place. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to organize these, so we're just gonna roll with it and see what happens. So without further ado, let's get started. We begin this book by establishing that Laura Jean, our main character, likes to write letters to all the boys that she's loved. And in these letters, she likes to write how she feels about them, what she notices about them, creepy observations, silly observations, anything that she can think about them, she writes it down. And when she's done, she folds it up, puts the address on it, stamp, and puts it away in a teal hat box, never to be seen again. These letters are intended for Laura Jean's eyes only, and she doesn't really intend on anybody else reading them. They're her way of symbolically letting go of the person, because as soon as she's done writing, she's over them. She no longer loves them, she no longer likes them, and that's the end of it. She can move on with her life without having all these bubbly feelings inside. The plot kicks off when Laura Jean comes home and realizes that all these letters have been sent to the people they were written to. The whole book isn't just about how these letters have been sent out, and it's not really a whole mystery about who sent them. It's more along the lines of Laura Jean maturing through these consequences. So let's move on to the characters. And like I said, Laura Jean is our main character. She's 16 and a junior in high school. I really like reading through her perspective. I found her quite relatable in many ways too. She's kind of awkward, quirky, a bit antisocial. She prefers to be home with her family than out on the weekends and hanging out with people. That's just how she is, and I feel like I can relate that way. I'd rather be home on the weekends spending time with my family than being out and about at parties and such. In other ways, she could be a bit annoying. Her immaturity definitely shines through in certain aspects of this book. Sometimes she could just overreact or be a little bit too sensitive about things, but overall she was a really fun character to read about. I loved reading how she changes from the beginning to the end. Laura Jean also has two other sisters. She has Margot and Kitty. Margot is the oldest and Kitty is the youngest. And I loved reading about the relationship between all these sisters and their bond. Margot, like I said, is the oldest, and she's sort of the glue that held this family together for a very long time. She's taken on a huge responsibility and taking on jobs that her mother would have done since their mother has died. In ways, she can be extremely bossy because of this, and if things are done her way, she kind of gets a little bit frustrated, a little bit angry. But I guess that could be understandable when you're just trying so hard to make sure everybody is doing well. Margot leaves very early on in the book to go to college in Scotland, so she's not really there for most of the book, but she could definitely tell her influence is there because Laura Jean constantly has to fill in the shoes of Margot, and you can tell she's really trying to be the big sister to Kitty and the responsible daughter to her father. Kitty, like I said, is the youngest, and she's the total opposite of both of her sisters. She's loud and can be obnoxious at times, but she's also really funny and she can be sensitive. Because she's younger, I can definitely understand why she acts a certain way throughout the book. I thought it was really cool because sometimes her actions could annoy Laura Jean and their interactions were really cute. Another person I want to talk about is her father, who is, I think, really awesome. He's not a sorry excuse for a person. He really does care for his three daughters. Because their mother is no longer with them, the Korean culture or side of them is greatly diminished because obviously she's not there. I love how their father is really trying to keep it alive by cooking some Korean foods and trying to involve the other family members whenever they can. We also have Laura Jean's best friend, who is not a good role model. She's but I did like her as well. And another two characters I'm going to go quickly over are Peter and Josh, which are two of the people that Laura Jean has written to in her letters, and they play a pretty big role in the story as well. Let's move on to the plot. And I thought the plot was super interesting. It kept me definitely intrigued throughout this entire novel. There weren't too many dull moments. You always had something exciting to expect or something you were waiting to happen, and it always kept me on my toes to see what was going to play out. So I thought the plot was really well executed and just overall pretty good. Last thing I want to talk about is the writing style, which for me is not my favorite aspect of this book. It's actually my least favorite aspect of this book, and mostly because I love where we get insight on how the character feels or observes. And we didn't get too much of that in this book. It's more of a say, do, rather than show. And that's perfectly okay. It definitely didn't affect my reading enjoyment throughout this novel. It was just something I noticed. The characters and plot definitely make up for that in my opinion. So yeah. Overall, I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I really did enjoy it. It was a really nice, fluffy contemporary, but it wasn't just a love story. It's quite a bit about family and growing up, maturing, all those nice things you want to read in a contemporary. It was there. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you read this book and what your thoughts are about it. I'll see you guys really soon. Bye!